The only time black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Gentlemen, what's up? This is Dennis Sperling. We are back again, and we are going to talk about General Abu Bakr ibn Umar. And these are lessons that black men can learn from our great brothers of the past, our African brothers. Now, just to put this in context for you, I want you to look at this image and pay very close attention to this image, because this will let you know how important this black man is. This black man who's not Arab, but an African. He's an African black man from the west coast of Africa. Now, as you guys know, this is a photo, a famous photo of Mansa Musa. And this, on the same map, it is a photo of General Abu Bakr ibn Umar. So that should let you know how relevant this photograph is. This is, it's important. See, we are not ever told about the specifics. Yeah, we're told we're descended from kings and queens, but nobody ever gives us specifics. Here we've talked about Abu Bakr II, Mansa Musa, and now we're going to dig deeper. I am absolutely certain that none of you have ever heard of General Abu Bakr ibn Umar. Maybe one or two of you, but for the most part, nobody has. So let's do a little background. First, I want to explain, put some stuff in the context for you, and we'll skip back and forth. But hey, you guys, first, thank you for coming. I appreciate everybody. Please get the likes up. Hit the like button as you get in. Everybody who is a member of the Wrench Mob, make sure that when people come in, remind them to hit the like button. We got 33 people in the chat room. We have 25 likes. Let's get the likes up. We are bringing up these past black men, specifically black men from the west coast of Africa, from Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, or what is now known as Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Mali Empire, because this is where the majority of our ancestors are from. This is your gene pool. This is what's in you. When you push for excellence, your ancestors will return to you, okay? Through you, they will return and help you in whatever mission you have. So it's important that we not just talk about the philosophers and the kings, but we should also talk about the generals, the great generals that we have. Now, the thing you need to understand is this, okay? His name is Abu Bakr ibn Umar. Abu Bakr ibn Umar ibn Ibrahim ibn Turgut. Sometimes suffixed as al-Sanhaj or al-Lumtuni. This is a black man, okay? All right, that's the name is Arabic, but clearly this right here, all this up in here, this is a black man right here, okay? Now, who was he? Why is he important, Mrs. Sperling? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that he was a chieftain of the Lumtuna Berber tribe and commander of the Almoravids, okay, from 15 from 1056 until his death. Now, what was going on in Europe at this time? Nothing. Chaos, debauchery, dirt, sickness, illness. So these Africans, right, who occupied this land right about here, and for you guys who don't know this is basically, this is Spain, and this is Morocco. This is the northern coast of Africa, okay? And so when we talk about the Almoravid dynasty, what we're looking at is two sections, and it's centered around Morocco, but it's basically this part of Spain. And from here, I'm going to try to get a better map so you guys can see. It's much easier to show it with a map. But he was the commander of the Almoravids from 1056 until his death. This basically denotes a landmass that stretches from Spain all the way across the northern Africa. This was a jet black African. That's who that was. Abu Bakr ibn was a member of the Bantu Todagut, a clan of Lamunta Berbers. His brother Yahya ibn Umar al-Lamunti was the chieftain of the Lamunta who invited the Malika teacher Abdullah ibn al-Yasin, and together launched the Almovid movement in the early 1050s. Now, what that basically means, they decided they was going to take over North Africa and southern southern Spain. That's basically what that translates to. Upon his death of Yahya ibn Umar in the spring of 1056 at the Battle of Tabafiyah, the spiritual leader Abdullah ibn Yasin appointed Abu Bakr as the new military commander of the Almoravids. That same year, Abu Bakr recaptured Sijilma Masa from the Maghra of the Zenata Confederation. This city had been taken earlier by Yahya, but subsequently lost. Abu Bakr recaptured it definitively for the Almoravids in the late 1056. So now I want to make sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. They really are doing a disservice by not showing the full. Now, what is this? The Almorid dynasty. Well, I want to talk about that. Those from the period where I want to show you guys a picture of this real quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So let me just work this out real quick. Get you a photograph so that we can look at it. The most important thing you guys need to understand is that, oops, that's I missed the one that I needed. Doggone it. So basically, this is the oh man, this is the area of land we're talking about right here. I'm trying to click on this thing. I want you guys to see. From here all the way over here across North Africa. This would be Italy. This would be Sicily. All of this was run by this black man. This was the Almoravid dynasty, Almoravid territory, south of. So basically, these are all Africans up in here running this. This man, all this territory up here across the northern face of Africa was run by this black man that we're talking about today, Abu Bakr Umar, which is why he's so important. Now, in order to, let's continue reading. So this is who this man is depicting right here. In order to ensure that they did not lose Sijilmasa again, Abu Bakr launched a campaign to secure the roads and valleys of southern Morocco. Now, southern Morocco, of course, is about right here, where I'm pointing to on this map. So that's southern Morocco. And let's continue. Now, the most important thing you need to understand is this is a black man doing this. This is a black man who existed 200-300 years before our ancestors began getting stolen from that landmass, that particular portion of Africa where we came from. This is what our brothers and sisters were doing. Now, here's some of the things that he did. Now, I want you to read this, but put it in context. This is your history. These are one of the kings and queens and rulers that we're talking about. This is why this is important. Now, we'll talk about what you can learn from them, but first, let's hear his story. In order to ensure that they did not lose Sajil Masa again, Abu Bakr launched a campaign to secure the roads and valleys of southern Morocco. He immediately captured the Draha Valley, then moved along the Wadi Nu along the edge of the Anti-Atlas, picking up adherents of the Sanhaja tribes of the Lamta and the Guzala and the Jazala to the Almoravid movement. Abu Bakr led the conquest of Sus Valley of southern Morocco, seizing the local capital, Tarandat, in 1057. By negotiating, Abdullah ibn Yasin secured an alliance with the Masmuda Berbers in the High Atlas, which allowed the Almoravids to cross the mountain range with little incident and seize the critical Zenata ruled citadel of Aghmat. In 1058, with little opposition, delighted at the apparent ease of their advance. Hold on. Delighted at the apparent ease of their advance, Abdullah ibn Yasin ventured into the lands of the Berwada of western Morocco. Okay, all right, you looking at that? With only a light escort, and was promptly killed by Abu Bakr was then mopping up the area north of Aghmat, wheeled the Almoravid army and conquered Berwata in a brutal campaign of revenge. So they killed his homie. He went back there and slaughtered everybody. Death of the spiritual leader, Abdullah ibn Yasin left the Almoravids under the sole command of Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr continued carrying out the Almoravid program without assuming the pretense of religious authority himself. In other words, he didn't go ahead and because he was the only person left, he could have easily usurped power and said, hey, I'm now, the spiritual leader, but he didn't. He said he just assumed. He continued on with his same position that he had been carrying without assuming the pretense of religious authority. In other words, I'm not standing here, and I'm not standing here in place of Allah. I'm not the religious authority. I'm still doing the job that I've been doing, and that's leader of this army. Abu Bakr, like later Almoravid rulers, took up the comparatively modest title of Amir al-Muslim, which means Prince of the Muslims, rather than Caliphal Amir al-Mu'minin, Commander of the Faithful, okay, which was given about more power and all that. Now, he was a soldier. He liked being a soldier. But the bottom line is he wasn't power hungry, okay? And here's the funny part, right? It's not funny, but it's interesting. Abu Bakr married the wealthiest woman in Aghmat. Her name was Zaynab in an-Nafzawiyyah. Okay, now this is a very interesting woman. Now let's listen to a little bit about her. First of all, she's the richest woman, right? She's the richest woman there. So clearly this man had high standards. He didn't go in there and marry some low-class thought. He married the richest woman in Aghmat. Now, who was she? Who helped him? She helped this man navigate the complicated politics of southern Morocco. What does that tell you about our brother Abu Bakr? He was clearly a simple warrior. He was a general, he was a warrior. His woman, on the other hand, she was sophisticated. She was a wealthy woman. She was a socialite. She lived in this region. She understood it. She helped him navigate the complicated politics of southern Morocco. All right. But Abu Bakr, a rustic desert warrior, what does that tell you? That tells you he was a blue collar brother. Okay. And she was a high value female. And she said, I'm gonna hook up with this dude. And she helped him get through that. But check this story out. But Abu Bakr, a rustic desert warrior, found crowded Aghmat and its courtly life stifling. In other words, he didn't like all them silken robes and whatnot. That wasn't really his thing. So in 1060, or 1061, about 2 years after two or 3 years after he conquered this place, Aghmat, which was the citadel, Abu Bakr and his son Sanhaja, lieutenants, in other words, his army and their men, left the city and pitched tents on the pastures along the Tensift River, setting up an encampment for their headquarters as if they were back in the Sahara Desert. This man was used to living rough. This man was used to living out in the Sahara Desert. You had black men running through the Sahara Desert. So anytime they try to tell you that our African brothers only live sub-Saharan, that translates to Negro. Okay, they want you to assume that anything happened in the Saharan Desert was light-skinned folks and Phoenicians and white folks that looked like they came from, I don't know, northern Italy or something like that. But that just wasn't the case. The brothers were traversing the Sahara Desert like it was the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. Okay, that was what they did. They ran through there. It was not a problem. That was their region. So traversing the Sahara Desert was not something different for. A matter of fact, this man said he didn't even like living in luxury. So what did he do? He moved back out by the river and pitched tents like, he was back in the Sahara Desert. This is how comfortable this man was in the Sahara Desert. Now, stone buildings would eventually replace the tents, and the encampment would become the city of Marrakesh, an unusual seeming city for the time, evocative of the desert life with planted palms and an oasis-like feel. They you know what? They missed the desert. They lived in the desert. So anybody tell you that black men sub-Saharan, we didn't, just because the white man calls it sub-Saharan Africans don't mean Africans who had those big nose and thick lips and broad noses didn't live out there. That's the way white folks use to try to fool you about your history, but they write it right down here. So let's look at it. You see a picture of the man, you see what he looked like. So anyway, they formed their own little city that kind of reminded them of home. Now, mind you, now at this point, they're on the west coast of Africa. They're over there in Morocco. They got all this fine stuff going on. It's nice. They were reminiscent of Morocco. They wanted to get back to the Sahara Desert. Okay, so they planted palms and replaced the buildings and made it look like the desert did. That's interesting, right? This is what this black man was doing in 1061. Abu Bakr placed his cousin Yusuf ibn Tashfin in charge of Aghmat and assigned him the responsibility of maintaining the front against the Zenata to the north. In a series of, all this is in Morocco, by the way, folks. This is all in Morocco, all right? Keep that in mind. My man R. Alexis says, Dennis Bro, General Abu was forged through the fires of the Sahara. Yeah, clearly he liked the Sahara. It's hot out there, and that's not for everybody, but clearly the brothers was running through the Sahara Desert. Okay, this is this black man. This is your brother. This is our brother. But anyway, he assigned his cousin the job, maintaining everything in Aghmat. In a series of campaigns through the 1060s, while Abu Bakr held court in Marrakesh, Yusuf directed the Almoravid armies against northern Morocco, reducing Zenata strongholds one by one. So he's still calling shots. He's taking over this whole northern Moroccan thing, right? In 1070, the Moroccan capital of Fez finally fell to the Almoravids. Discontent, however, had arisen in the Almoravid ranks, particularly among the desert clans back in the Sahara, okay, who regarded their distant northern campaigns as expensive and pointless. All right, so you got problems at the home front. The Gadullah tribe, who had earlier broken away from the Almoravid coalition, began urging other desert tribes to follow suit after the fall of Fez. Feeling Morocco was now secure, Abu Bakr decided it was time to return to the Sahara to quell the dissension in the desert homelands. So what did he do? He placed his cousin, Yusuf ibn Tashfin, in charge of Morocco in his absence. As was common among the Sanhaja tribes before extended military campaigns, Abu Bakr divorced Zaynab, that's that rich woman that he married, before he left, and he told her, look, if you want protection, you need to marry my cousin if she needed protection. That's what he told her. This is some gang. I got to go to work, baby. Now, look, I'm hustling. It's nice and cool here, but you know, it's not about me sitting here being comfortable with you. I got a mission I need to take care of. This is not only my job, but this is my purpose. My purpose being what? To create this more of it, you know, and I'm dedicated to my duty. I'm dedicated to what I got to do, baby. I know you're rich, you're a cute girl, and there's a little thing about, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about this woman too. She was clearly a very captivating woman, but and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. But so what he did was, but Yusuf ibn, okay, so now he basically told her, you need to marry my cousin. He'll keep you safe. That's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm out. He divorced her, took 3 months. That was it. Having quelled it, okay, so then what? He left. So now having quelled the discontent back in Sahara, Abu Bakr returned to North Morocco in 1072. So what happened? 2 years later, after he divorced his old lady and told her to marry his cousin, he decided to come on back. But Yusuf ibn Tashfin, his cousin, had enjoyed the taste of power, and he was reluctant to give it up. But he didn't really want no smoke. That's what you also got to think. So what did he do? He pushed by his new wife. Zaynab, Yusuf, pushed by his new wife. In other words, she's behind the scene calling the shots. So pushed by his new wife, Zaynab, Yusuf met Abu Bakr in the plain of Burnus between Marrakesh and Aghmat, and by negotiation rather than force, persuaded him to abdicate the northern dominions to him. As a courtesy to his former leader, Yusuf, it was also his cousin, Yusuf kept Abu Bakr's name on the Aghmat coinage until his death. Basically, his picture was all over the coins, and so they kept it there until he died. Now, what happened to Abu? They gave him some gifts and stuff like that. They couldn't. You ain't just gonna strong arm him, man. Like, okay, I'm not in it. Clearly, the woman is cool, but I'm not in it for that. But you're not gonna just punk me. So they knew they had to go out there and persuade this man, and they didn't want to spark. They didn't want no smoke from Abu. Abu was the cousin. He cool and whatnot. But you are not going to take anything from this man. This man was born in the fires of the Sahara. He moved from luxury to go live by a river in a tent when he had all this power. That should let you know who you're dealing with. This was not a soft man. Understand me, fellas? So either way, Abu Bakr returned to the Sahara desert to command the southern wing of the Almoravids. He launched a new campaign. He launched a new set of campaigns against the dominions of the Ghanaian Empire in 1076, and is often credited with initiating the spread of Islam on the southern periphery of the Sahara. His campaigns are said to have gone as far as Mali and Ghana. These are African people. These are complicated, complex civilizations. This is 1076. This is 1,000 years ago. These are your people, black man. This is what your people were doing. Now I'm gonna ask you something. What were the Europeans doing at this time? They were living in squalor. They didn't have a sewer system. They were fighting amongst each other. Many of them were illiterate. They were living horribly. And your brothers was riding across the Serengeti, conquering empires, creating empires. This is what your black brothers were doing. So when white folks say they came and kidnapped you and saved you from Africa, and it was over there cannibalism and they was pulling you out the jungles, you say, no, you didn't do. Abu Bakr, they were fine the way they are. He married the richest woman in the land, Zaynab. You see, this is what they were doing. And see, there was in Ghana at the time, the Ghanaian Empire was something to be conquered. So what does that let you know? There was riches and wealth and all kinds of stuff there. Campaigns are said to have gone as far as Mali and Ghana. Islam was all over there. That was an African religion. That was it was spread. It was, you know, this is not foreign to us. Many of the Africans who were kidnapped and brought to the Americas were Muslims. Okay, and that's what a lot of the black Muslims try to tell brothers and sisters, but they ain't trying to hear it. And I love Jesus as much as everybody else, but many of our ancestors, my specific, I got an ancestor now. His name was Ahmed Hamid, and he was a Muslim. You know, and that's my father's. My father's grandfather was a Muslim man. All right. So anyway, let's continue. Abu Bakr, Emir ibn Amir died in 1087, and his dominions were partitioned amongst his sons, his nephews, and the sons of Yahya after his death. Mauritania, which is a country, Mauritanian country in Africa. Oral tradition claims that Abu Bakr was killed in a clash with the Gangada, okay, of southern Mauritania, relating that he was struck down by an arrow from an old blind Gangara chieftain in the pass of Kama between Tangut and the Assab Mountains en route to Ghana. So he down there in Africa waging war, and one of the Bloods shot him down. Okay, this is what they were. This is what our black brothers were doing. So according to the Wolof oral tradition, a seer bowman named Amar Gadomat killed him with his bow near Lake Rizik, just north of Senegal. Gadomat's name apparently originates with his death. It goes on to note that Abu Bakr left a pregnant Fula wife, Fatima Sal, who gave birth to a son, the legendary Amadou Bakr ibn Omar, better known as Indianta Nigite, who went on to found the Wolof kingdom of Wualo in Lower Senegal River. So what this is telling you, many of our ancestors that we came from many different tribes. The Wolof tribe was one of them. Many of them ended up in the southern United States after slavery. This is the man we're reading about, is the father of the man who founded the Wolof tribe. So think about that. These are your people that we're talking about. Now I want to talk to you about his wife. I want to talk to you about Abu Bakr ibn Umar's wife, at least the one, that rich woman. So let's look a little bit about her. Zaynab an-Nafzawiyyah was a Berber woman of influence. She was rich in the early days of the Almoravid Berber Empire, which gained control of Morocco, Algeria, and parts of Spain. All of that was run by black folks as late as 1075. She was married to Yusuf ibn Tashfin. Okay, this is the one, he reportedly his de facto co-ruler, and reportedly his de facto co-ruler. See this black woman right here, she was the co-ruler of the damn country with her husband. You see what I'm saying? Think about that. She was one of the wives of the Berber kings given the title Malika, or queen, Malaika, which means queen, which was not a given thing for the wives of Muslims monarchs, and called literally the name, it was called Al-Qima bi Mulkihi, literally the one in charge of her husband's mulk, referring to her participation in state affairs during the reign of her spouse. Though the Kutuba was never issued in her name, she was recognized to share the power of her spouse. Now that doesn't sound like black men were that patriarchal to me. That's what it sounds to me, right? Like they let the women participate. Now they're like, you want to run, son? Here you go, baby. Go ahead, tell them what to do. Go push that paperwork. All right. We never had the issues that white men and white women have had to deal with in that situation. That's not us. We didn't do that. That wasn't what we was doing, and they're wrong for trying to say we were. Okay, fellas, it's just not what we did. All right, and let's continue reading. The earliest reference to her is in the anonymous 12th century text, the Khatib al-Listiber, where it says, in her time, there was none more beautiful or intelligent or witty. She was married to Yusuf, who built the Marik, okay, for her. This work names her father as Ibrahim al-Nafzawiyyah, a merchant originally from the Kaurian. According to Ibn Khaldun, she first, excuse me, guys, I know I'm butchering these Arab names. I apologize for that, but whatever, I speak English like the rest of y'all speak as well as I can, okay? She first became the concubine of Yusuf ibn Ali, chief of the Horika and Al-Yana Berber tribes, because Aghmat in Morocco. She then married Likhud al-Maghrawi, Amir, prince of Aghmat. Likud was killed in the battle against invading Almoravids, and his wealth was inherited by Zaynab. So in other words, her husband died, she got his money. The most detailed information appears to be in the unfortunately incomplete 14th century text of Al-Bayan al-Mazri. She is said to have had many offers to marry of marriage from tribal chiefs from all over Morocco, but always declined by saying that she would marry no one who did not wish to become the ruler of the country. So this was an ambitious woman looking for an ambitious man. She was looking for a high value man, as Mr. Kevin Samuels says, about his terminology, even back in 60 something, right? So we looking at hypergamy at its best. I don't want you, if you don't want to be the ruler of the whole country, I don't want no chiefs. I want the boss. So look at that. It said that she had supernatural powers and conversed with genies. So that means she was probably fine and got all that she wanted. I wish we could find a picture of this fine ancient woman. Let's take a look and see what this fine woman looked like. I'm looking at her name. Hold on a minute. Let's Google it, as they say. Google it, Google it, Google it. So she was fine and rich and knew how to talk to you. And she was magical. Let's see what the images say this woman looked like. Amen, amen. I don't know about all that. Let's see. We don't really get it. She must have been black because they ain't got no pictures of her up here. So we'll see. They got her as this white-looking white woman. That ain't what she look like. Y'all know shit like that. That's too goddamn white to be in Africa. You kidding me? Cut it out. Stop playing. Anyway, so we probably won't be able to find an accurate photograph of this woman. Amen, amen, amen. Just keeping in mind, though, what was going on in Europe at this time. They were struggling out there in the European streets. And so these folks out here balling. So anyway, let's keep reading. So it said that she had supernatural powers and conversed with genies. A genie being is like a magical witch or something like that, you know, whatever. She married to the Almoravid leader, Abu Bakr ibn Umar. We read about him, this very dark black man, right? In September of 1068, and offered to put her, and this is what she did to him, and offered to put her immense wealth at his disposal. Look, just take care of me, I'm gonna give you this money, all right? It said that she blindfolded Abu Bakr, then led him to a secret cavern where she removed the blindfold, and he saw around him an immense treasure of gold, silver, pearls, and rubies. All this is yours, daddy, she said before leading him out. But she blindfolded because she ain't trusting as far as she can throw him. Can you imagine that? You got this fine one, you done conquered this land, you sitting back smoking your little Camel cigar, right? And she said, look, baby, put this blindfold on. I want to show you something. Look, I'm gonna give you everything I got, daddy. I'm with you. Just come on in, have a good time. You know, everything's good. She blindfolded this general, this man who comes with the strong arm of God, right? She put the little blindfold. Come on in. She takes him into a cavern filled with, let's see what it is again, silver and gold and what else, and all kind of stuff, silver, pearls, and rubies. That's what she did to him. Of course, he gonna marry her. But remember, this is a simple man. This is the man that said, I don't want to live in all this luxury. We'll go back out here to the woods and live out here in this desert out here like I did back in the Sahara. This is what this man did. So anyway, Abu Bakr began the construction of the Marrakesh in May 1070. Now, if you look at this, says he built it for her, but he says he built it because he wanted to get the hell away from all of that. That's interesting. He wanted to get away from all that luxury. He wanted to live like they lived back in the Sahara. So he took the money and built what he wanted to build with it. It's just interesting, right? He like, yeah, okay, I got your money, cool, boo. I'm gonna do it. And then you see, when it was time for him to do his mission, he ended up saying, well, I'm out, marry my cousin. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'll come back when I come back. But either way, Abu Bakr began the construction of the Marrakesh in 1070. Work had not progressed very far when a messenger arrived pleading for his help in suppressing a revolt against the Almoravids deep in the Sahara Desert. Abu Bakr knew that his wife was not suited to the rigors of desert life, and divorced her. He knew she couldn't make it. She's a city girl. He was going to be out there, you know, living in tents and going from pillar to post. And he said, look, baby, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to go ahead and divorce you. You cool. It's been good. It's been real. I appreciate the money. Life is good here, but check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and let you off the hook. I'm gonna get you, and you can marry my cousin. All right. He knew. Look what kind of man he was. Now he apparently liked it. You know, he's building a new city and enjoying his life. But he's like, I got a purpose to fulfill. I got to give up this luxury life to go deal with my purpose. This is what God wanted him to do. Remember, this was a God ordained mission. The Almoravid, he was Almoravid leader, and he had to go suppress an uprising deep in his home in the Sahara Desert. And so he had to do what he had to do. So he had to leave that luxury behind, right? He had to leave his wife alone and get on out and get back out in that world. And that's what he did. So, but before he left, you know, he knew his wife wasn't ready for it. He said, look, you married my cousin, Yusuf ibn Tashfin. He is, you know, he is not the alpha male that I am, but you'll be straight, okay? And that was his debut. He put his cousin in charge. So he departed from the Sahara Desert on January 10th, 1071. And after the legal period of 3 months of separation had ended. In other words, he waited 3 months so he can get his divorce, and then he left her. Zaynab duly married Yusuf in May of that year. So she went ahead and married him, like her husband said, and they went on about the business. It says that Yusuf owed the conquest of the Maghreb, Morocco, Algeria, and Spain to her advice. So basically what happened was she now has hooked up with his cousin, and she advised him, the cousin, on how to take over Morocco, Algeria, and Spain to her advice. That's what this woman was doing. And that she was so expert in conducting negotiations that she was nicknamed the magician. This is how cold this woman was. Now, I know we're talking about the brothers, but what we're talking about now is the type of woman, fellas, that you want to have on your arm. See, give me a minute. Let's finish. In 1072, Abu Bakr signaled his intention to return from the Sahara to take up his former position. In other words, I'm coming back. I put this war down. I'm coming back. I want my wife back. I want my position back. It's going to be what it's going to be. But Yusuf was understandably reluctant to yield. He got used to living in luxury. He used to be the second man in charge. He got this fine wife who's rich, who's helping him be successful. He ain't trying to get this up, but he don't want that smoke with his cousin, because everybody know his cousin is the man out here in these Saharan streets, okay? Abu Bakr ibn Umar, you don't want no smoke with him. He love his cousin, you know, and on top of that, he probably, like, he's been under his cousin, but he finally got a chance to stand up and be a man. And so now he coming back. So what do? Yusuf understandably reluctant to yield, but did not know how to keep his position without triggering an internecine war with Abu Bakr, one that he probably wouldn't win. It is said that Zaynab, knowing of Abu's Bakr's fondness for the desert life, listen to what this woman did, right? She watched her, you know that old saying, I'm learning my man while I'm turning my hand. She knew her ex-husband, who was the cousin of her new husband. It said that Zaynab, because see, and here's another thing you got to understand. Zaynab probably recognized that little man, Yusuf, was easier to manipulate than Abu, and easier to control than Abu Bakr. So this is when the female nature comes in. Who would you rather deal with? A man that you can manipulate and control, so therefore you have power because you can control him, or this one that's subject to run off into the woods, go set up a camp by the river and don't want to live at the house? She's like, well, you know what? If I have my preference, I'm gonna go with Yusuf. So she, of course, helped Yusuf and guide him into how to deal with Abu Bakr. So what did she say? It said that Zaynab, knowing of Abu Bakr's fondness for the desert life and his own reluctance to cause unwanted bloodshed, advised Yusuf to confront Abu Bakr in a firm but courteous manner and mollify him with luxurious presence. In other words, I know your cousin really don't want to be here like that. He wants to be in the desert. On top of that, you know, he probably doesn't want to cause unwanted bloodshed. Or really, she knew that he didn't. She knew that the baby cousin, she knew that Yusuf didn't want to cause unwanted bloodshed. And so she said, look, this is what you do. This is an ego-driven man. So you got to be firm, but you need to be courteous. Okay, you need to mollify him. In other words, you need to tranquilize him or calm him with luxurious presence. Okay, he's a man of war. Yeah, he want money, but at the end of the day, he want to live out in the desert and do wild thing. So you can't piss him off. That's what you can't do. So this Yusuf did, and the meeting passed without incident. Abu Bakr returned to the Sahara, but in continuing his homage, his name remained on the Almorid coinage until his death some years later. Zaynab is known to have had at least 2 sons by Yusuf. So she went on to have a couple of kids. So this is a young woman. She's young enough to have kids. So she went on to have 2 kids by Yusuf, and they went on about their business. Her example, and the fact that she assisted in creating the dynasty and its customs had great impact on the situation of women in the Almoravid, Morocco. In the tradition, an example of her, women in Morocco had high status during the reign of the Almoravid dynasty. Princesses were allowed to participate in state affairs. Women in Morocco did not wear veils. The education of women was accepted and normal, with notable women such as Hafsa bint al-Hajj al-Rukhniya holding courses for women at the palace. At least 2 women known to have been doctors. And finally, Princess Fanu famously participated in the defense of the capital during the dynasty's downfall. I'm going to just tell you, we talking about my man Abu Bakr, but the most important thing that we can learn from Abu Bakr is his choice in women. You see, it was his woman who helped him enhance, and this same woman who helped keep the kingdom together and mollify a situation with it. She helped expand the kingdom. So the question is, what kind of woman do you have? Is she offering you a room full of rubies and pearls and gold when you enter? Is that what she's offering you, or is she offering you headaches and turmoil and heartaches when you to enter into this marriage? What are you getting tangible from this relationship that you enter in with this woman? What tangible? Because see, if you meet a woman and all she can say to you is, "I'm going to bring you some love. I'm going to give you attention." What else? What do they like to say? I'm a cook and clean. You can get a maid for that. Let me see what else. Love and attention you can get from a pet. A bird, get you a bird or a fish. Curl up with that. It's more consistent. This woman, Zaynab, offered something tangible to this man. Now, I'm gonna put this link because y'all need to know about this. This is the type of woman you need to compare your woman with. Is she beautiful? Does she have something tangible she can bring? What is she bringing? Is she trying to help? And Flox 94110 said, yeah, do you do consultations? Yes, I do. Now look, let's come on and talk about it. We got 55 people in the chat room. Make sure you get the likes up, fellas. Get the likes up. Also, let's come in and talk about Abu Bakr ibn Umar's choice in women. The link is in the chat room. Join the conversation. And my man Flock 94110 said, do you do consultations? Of course, I do one-on-one consultations. You can email me at sperlingdennis@gmail.com if you want to do a one-on-one consultation. Also, if you want to do you want me to help you start a company or something like that, you want to start a company, I can form the LLC paperwork for you. That's no problem in any state. Just let me know. But we're talking about Abu Bakr ibn Umar and his relationship with his wife, Zaynab an-Nafzawiyyah. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about this fine woman right here who managed to expand the kingdom, married 3 or 4 times, very rich. She's about that life. You gotta love that. And let's see. All right, we got my man in here, Malika. What's up, brother? Come on in here. Come on in here. Now, I apologize for not talking about, Tekashi 6ix9ine on this broadcast. That is typically the type of subject matter that my brothers and sisters like to talk about. I know that. I apologize for that, but I just felt that we could get more from Abu Bakr ibn Umar than we could Lil Nas X tonight as far as manhood, masculinity training. So forgive me for that, but I know, and I also know that I butchered these names, but you guys get the point. You understand what I'm saying? So what are your thoughts on, send me an email, Flox94110. Send me an email, man. We'll set a meeting up for you. We'll do a one-on-one consultation. Shout out to Carl Muckle. Thank you so much for $5 super chat. Man, y'all got me working for an hour for $5. Man, that's cold-blooded, man. Let's get the likes. Let me run some commercials, Malika, because they out here playing in these YouTube streets. We'll be right back. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks. The only time Black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Donate to the Super Chat. Donate to the PayPal. Donate to the Cash App. It's your contributions and your donations that'll cause for this platform to grow. Let our voice be the voice, the preeminent voice in Black America. All right, so here's the thing, you guys. If you appreciate what I'm doing, you got to contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I've been talking to you guys for about an hour about somebody that I know most of you have never heard of, and that's Abu Bakr ibn Umar. He was a great African leader, a northwest African leader, a Saharan leader. This man conquered much, and he has some real G moves that we need to talk about. Man, what do you think about him, first of all, as a person? Abu Bakr, we don't know a whole lot about him other than we pick up in his life where he's a commander and he takes over these cities, and then he kills somebody. He marries the richest woman there. What do you think about that, man? What are your thoughts on his choice in women?
Masculine man with purpose. He knew that this woman was going to be, I hate to use the word come up, but he knew that it was a power move.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that since she was a woman of prominence, she could help him elevate him politically and socially. That could build his power structure.
Now, what do you think about the fact that she had all these other dudes in Morocco that was trying to holler? But she was like, no. And then she chased this man down. All of them were trying to get at her. And instead, what she did, not only, he probably was like, baby, you ain't good at it. She literally had to take him to a cavern filled with silver and gold and pearls and rubies to convince him to marry her. You see what I'm saying? She's this fine, but because he pretended like he didn't want her. Cold-blooded thing is he acted like he didn't want her, then moved out and went back to the nearby, lived by a river nearby, created her own little town in the desert to live like a Viking. I'm sure she probably came out there to visit, but she used to living in the city with silk and all that kind of stuff. What do you think about this dude? Then he left her 2 years later, said, I'll be back. I got to go fight this one. I'm going to divorce you, marry my cousin, I'll be back. Do you think he, I mean, he didn't seem to really care too much about the women like that. He looked like he was more focused on his purpose. Malika, what do you think, man? Talk to me.
Well, remember when we were talking about what's the importance, like the list?
Yeah.
It was him.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
God.
if he was a Muslim, I'm sorry, if he was a Muslim, it was Allah, him, his purpose, his legacy, then maybe her.
Right. So what do we learn as Black men from this from this brother who was more focused on his purpose than he was on what this woman had, her money and all that? What do you think about that?
Well, we as brothers, especially here in these United States, we have to reprogram our thinking because we pedestalize our women.
Mm-hmm.
And we put our women before our purpose. And even if we are on our goal and we have made our purpose, like for instance, if I'll give myself an example. 20 years ago, when I was a police officer, I was making good money. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I was doing good. I have no children, I have my own apartment. I'm making anywhere close to 50 to 60K a year. But this matrix programming, this blue pill programming Anytime I got with a woman, and 9 times out of 10, especially when I'm dating black women, they will have a child. I'm putting her above my purpose. I'm putting her kids, her family, her drama, her ideas above my purpose when I don't have to. But it wasn't my fault. It was the programming, because black men were programmed to be simps. We're programmed to be that way. We don't have to be that way. Like you said, you don't have to do anything. It's just you've been shown that way. This man found her attractive, and he found her that she was a means to his end, but he didn't really realize that she was exceedingly important. That was one thing. That's one thing that a lot of red pillers and a lot of
He
MGTOW men
didn't.
have been telling you. They saying don't chase after him.
He definitely didn't. Could we say it's fair to say he didn't put this woman on a pedestal?
No, not at all. He put his purpose on a pedestal. That's why he left her.
Yeah, I'll be back. I got something to do. I'll holler at you. Now, here's the thing I want to explain about that word, the Almoravid dynasty. So I'm going to bring this screen up real quick because I want you to understand how expansive this land that this black man ruled over. Okay, the general over. This is look at this, man. Let me see if I can pull it up. I know it's kind of small here, but let me see if I can pull this up. All right. Okay, so the Almoravid dynasty. Let me see. Hold on a minute. Oh man, look at that. It's out here tripping in these streets, man. Anyway, we'll try it like that. See, man, every time I try to.
You might have too many windows open. That's why.
That could be it. Let me go ahead and click these close. Let's get it all up out here. Okay, look at that. So, this is the part of the land right here, the Al-Andalus, that these black men ruled. This is basically all of Spain and Portugal. Basically, they ran all of that. Okay. Now, this is the other side of it right here. If I can pull this up. 1 minute, fellas. And basically, it's a photograph, is a video, a photo is going to pop up of this part of Africa. So basically, this is all of the Almoravid. This is basically the whole top half of Africa. This is the whole toupee right here. The whole toupee plus Spain and what is also Portugal. So this is Morocco over here somewhere. So this man rode all the way to the Sahara somewhere to fight a war, right? Fought the war, then came back over here and say, all right, I'm back. Let's get things cracking. All of this is, man, look at this. America is only about this big right here. You see what I'm saying? America could fit right up in here somewhere. So if this man ran this black man, right? These lands right here. This is where our brothers and sisters were stolen from, all up in here. Okay, now before he died, he eventually ended up down here somewhere, fighting some people down in Ghana somewhere, right? So this is all. So when they say sub-Saharan Africa, they're trying to separate everything on this line from the rest of all these black people down here. Okay, but these people here, they didn't know nothing about all that. Yeah, rivers and mountains might have kept us apart, but they was all damn near the same color. Okay, maybe the closer you get down here, they was a little blacker, a little taller, a little shorter, whatever, but they was all Africans, and all of us was taken from there. The whole point being, Malika, we had our own stories. We had our own history. We had our own tales. We had our own people. We had our own culture, well developed. You see what I'm saying? This is what we had. We didn't need what they was offering us. These little people lived up here. The Europeans live up. This is a little speck of a little island right here, England. This is their little piece of land right here. All this little crappy stuff up here where it's cold and nothing grows nice. They had this. We had all the rest of this. You see what I'm saying? They had this, and we had all of this. We got all the resources. They didn't have any of the resources, but yet they took some Christianity, which started right here, and made its way up here some kind of way. And then they decided to bring all that back down here and tell us we needed something that started right here. You understand what I'm saying? And so this was the con game. But we had gold, we had wealth, we had societies. You see what I'm saying? They had they had everything. They had armies. They had everything. Matter of fact, these people, these Europeans, learned from these people, and then came and stole these people and took them over here somewhere, and told the ones that they brought over here after a couple of generations, y'all ain't got nothing over there. Don't go over there to Africa. They ain't doing nothing but eating people and swinging from trees. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I think it's not just important that I talk about. I want to put these conversations in context, but again, we always talk about these kings and queens of Africa, but nobody ever actually gives us any names. And so by talking about Abu Bakr and all these other men, I think I'm putting some names with these faces. What are your thoughts on that?
It's great because at least we're knowing who our ancestors were.
Mm-hmm,
and when you're putting the names to faces, it brings more credence.
Right.
And also, for me, it makes me feel proud. It makes me feel happy that, all right, we have people and you're showing this like, no, well, let's go right here. He did this. And when you showed the map, I was like, no, this man ruled this area.
Right.
Between this. And another thing is when you're showing this, you're showing the Moorish rule too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
What is Abu Bakr's occupation during this time again?
Abu Bakr the second. Oh, he wasn't born.
Bakr the General Abu Bakr ibn Umar. What was his
well,
he was a general, right?
He referred to himself. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
He was a general, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And what did he die doing?
He apparently he died fighting.
Okay.
Yeah, Abu Bakr ibn Umar.
And what did he leave his woman for to go do?
He went off to fight, fulfill his purpose. But he wasn't just fighting for anybody. He wasn't crippling in blood, and he was fighting because this was what Allah wanted him to do. This is what God wanted him to do. Go ahead.
Now, when we say this about our people and like how the way a lot of people would talk crap about Shaka, like you talked about a few days ago.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Great ruler. This man, great ruler, great general.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, they're quick to throw Custer. They're quick to throw Lee. They'll even throw Miyamoto Musashi. They'll even throw Sun Tzu out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when we go down and we show this man and we show what he did, and you just spoke on a few minutes for 10 minutes about he got the money, he got the jewels, but he says, I'm going to go back out and fight because this is what Allah told me. But when we talk about, well, white men, they fought for things, the Crusades, they fought, and you for Christianity against the Muslims. I said, okay. Mm-hmm. But this man felt zealous in his way. And then he came back to his woman and said, all right, baby, I'm back.
Well, I want to stay with your cousin. Me and your cousin get along better.
Okay.
Abu, don't be like that. Take these gold. We know you like living in the Sahara anyway.
And that was another thing. His purpose and his drive, the richest mind, he said, you know what? I could sit in a lap of luxury, but that wasn't in him.
Right. And this is what Abu Bakr, this is your African brother right here. This is what he looks like. Now, there's absolutely no mistaking him from an African. Look at that black man right there. And on top of that, they put him up there with Mansa Musa in the photo that I showed you guys. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, brother. You see, this is our black brother.
I'm just saying, we see pictures that ain't no they don't know Sharpie. Mm-hmm. There ain't no filter. No, that's a black man.
That's our brother. That's your black brother right there. Mm-hmm. From the west coast of Africa. This is our brother. He died trying to invade, got an arrow or something shot through his heart, going down there to Ghana, where some more of our black brothers are. Okay. So this is your brother. You can claim him. You don't have to be stuck with Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. Peace be unto them. We love our brothers. But we are not stuck with only them. We have plenty of other people to choose from. All right, now I'm gonna show you. We mentioned a lot about the coins that he said. His cousin said, "I'm gonna look, man. I'm gonna keep your name on the coin till you die." All right, that's I you. We working with you, baby. You left her here with me. We love. She pregnant. Abu. You gonna take her back pregnant? You don't want that. So this is his name on the coins. You see what I mean? This is his coins right here. Again, I told you guys, this is our brother. This is Abu Bakr ibn Umar here. and this is Mansa Musa. So this lets you know how important this man was. You see what I'm saying? What do you think about that? That they got them? Why they don't ever show us this part of the map, Malika?
Because they're going to have to explain the power and the strength of that man. You see, one thing to show a man flossing and balling, but it's a difference when you show a man that was a leader, a man that was a fighter. You see, it's just like today. It's cool to show a dude in a nice Lamborghini, to show a dude all flossed out and dressed up. That's cool because anybody can acquire wealth. But if you show a black man physically showing his strength, a black man showing if he's leading a cavalry, if he's standing and just showing a level of strength, like, all right, go way back to the 50s when you saw Gordon Parks showing pictures in Life magazine of the Nation of Islam. Those were powerful images. And it rose controversy because you never saw black people having that much power and Elijah Muhammad having that much power. It's cool to show riches through power, but just sheer power of your magnitude as a black man, as a ruler. That's a whole nother thing. That makes people shake in their boots. Because
it sheds lights on those lies.
Exactly.
These people, right? Look, let me show you something. This is a photo. This is a depiction of our brothers back in 1096. Do they look like they swinging from monkey trees and whatnot? Do you? This is not what they're doing here. So can you imagine? This is 1060 AD. This is 1492. So this is about 400 or 500 years before Columbus got lost and drifted over and found
how many years,
Dominican
brother?
Republic. This is about 400 or 500 years before Columbus. These people, look at this man sitting on a throne of gold, got a crown of gold, and this is Europe. This is Spain. This is Morocco. This is like Senegal. All this is Africa right here. This is that corner of Africa right here. All right. This is what your black brothers were doing. Okay. If this is Mansa Musa, then he's sitting in Mali somewhere. Okay. And this is our brother Abu Bakr, the great general that we're talking about tonight. This is him. These are black men here, brothers. These are your brothers. This is your heritage. Don't let them stick you with, oh, y'all was descended from slaves. Well, why can't we go back to the other people that was okay? Yeah, you know what? A lot of us was taken, but what about the rest of them over there? Why we got to be just descended from slaves? Why can't we talk about all the rest of these black men over here? And so now, here's the thing. Now they're going to put it on you to talk about it. So now you can say, yeah, Abu Bakr, yeah, I know about him. He lived around 1060, whatever. I think he died in 1070 or something like that. And he married a rich woman named Zaynab, and she showed him a cabin full of gold and and all that, and he had coins on his. You can have an intelligent conversation because here's the thing: once they find out your history, then they'll say, "Oh wow, yeah, I read about that." That's how they do it. But unless you bring it up, they're not gonna bring it up. So keep that in mind, brothers. And this is another brother, Abdullah ibn Yasin, and I'm going to talk about him. He was a famous Moroccan theologian. This is another. Look at this black man. Okay, I just want y'all to look. Went off, but bottom line, that this is our brother too. These lands were filled with black. Look how well they're dressed. Do they look like they swinging from trees and they living in tents and huts and stuff like that to you, or does it look like they look like they needed what the white man was bringing to them from Europe? That's what I'm asking you. We got gold printed coins with Abu Bakr ibn Umar's name on it. That's what these coins we were talking about. He said, look, I'll agree to keep your name on the coins. That's him right there. You see what I'm saying? But either way, man, look, if y'all appreciate what I'm doing, man, y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. Make sure y'all contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. What else you got to add to this thing for me, bro?
First of all, you're showing beautiful black people, man.
Yes.
And also, at this time, you're seeing us as a cultured and a civilized group of people. But also, could you go back to the picture of the coins, brother, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Hold on, let me get that up for you, man. All right. It's coming up. There you go, right there.
Here's one thing that you have to understand, brothers and sisters in the chat. These are coins, and this is what you said,
1061.
1061.
Right.
Our people had technology to print and smith on gold.
Ooh.
And also we had a mercantile system way before you go over in Europe, where they had a mercantile system based on the gold standard back then. So that shows you we were light years ahead of any European, any Asian, and any other system. And we were thriving in that one corner of Africa. And how the way we were looking as a cosmopolitan ancient city. But just think about that. You had a mercantile system where you could print a man's name on the coins. Just have a system of printing. White folks didn't know anything about that until later on. They got it from us.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you see how the way we were living. You know, you see these pictures of men and women in beautiful garbs, understanding technology, understanding language, learning math, learning medicine, learning different forms of theology. We weren't practicing cannibalism. We weren't running around like savages. In that whole area, in that corner of Africa, we ruled.
Yeah,
For
and
400 or 500 years. Without no problem.
These were Muslims. You see,
Yes.
these are Muslims, so they're not even eating pork, much less practicing savagery. And so I wanna, the other thing I want to reemphasize, I want to show y'all this is what was going on in Europe at the time. All right, now I'm gonna skip ahead to the time of Mansa Musa, which was about 200 years later. And we talked about this the other night briefly, but I want to show y'all this is what Europe was doing even 200 years later in 312 or 330. Right now, mind you, this is how I showed you some video. You see, brother Abu Bakr ibn Umar. You see how he's living, right? And I want to show you how the Europeans were living even 300 years later. So even 200 years later. So even 200 years later, they were still struggling. Hold on a minute. Let me pull this up. I want y'all to check this out. This is just a part of a little clip that I shown the other night. And I'm going to actually put this in there because this is about Mansa Musa, but it has a very interesting part. So y'all listen to this carefully and we're going to stop it and talk about it.
In 1312 also came at a very important time in history. The late Middle Ages were marked by population decline and unrest in Europe. The entire continent was suffering from famine, the Black Plague, and political revolution. At the same time,
this is the late Middle Ages. That's 100. So now let's go back to the time of Abu Bakr ibn Umar. This is still the middle of the Middle Ages. Even by the late Middle Ages, this is what Europe, how many, was it half of Europe? Did they say, or did they say all of Europe? Let's listen to that.
Also came at a very important time in history. The late Middle Ages were marked by population decline and unrest in Europe. The entire continent was suffering from famine.
Look at that. This is the entire continent, Malika, of Europe was suffering from famine and sickness. This is how they was living, right? This is how they was living. You see that? And you see, and we around here printing gold coins. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. So when they tell you that, you've been lied to, brothers. You've been lied to, and you gotta remember that you've been lied to. And you really don't realize how much you've been lied to till you start traveling. You know what? Just for their own edification, I want to show you, brothers, something real quick, and you might even find this just so you can know you being lied to right now. I want you to see something real quick. Go ahead, Malika. What else would you like to add to that?
But just seeing this, the famine and the disease, this is showing you how the Europeans and the whites, they didn't know anything about taking care of the people. They didn't know anything about taking care of that. And also they didn't know anything about wanting to take care of a country.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, they didn't understand anything about medicine and care. But you take a look at our people over there in Africa, we was cool.
Yeah.
We were cool. We were light years ahead. See, but the problem is what white folks are not going to tell you, because of the plague and because of the famine, they were bringing in diseased food and livestock off of these ships. They didn't know how to clean. They see, the thing is, white people are not going to tell you that at this time they were living in barns with animals. These people didn't wash, they didn't
Right.
clean, they were throwing
And
their body waste out on the streets. And also they
yeah, they
had
didn't have a
diseased
sewer system.
rats.
So my question is, yeah. So what could these people right here on my screen, what could they offer? What could these people offer our people? What do you think they really brought? That's the thing you
They
need to
brought what they
understand.
had: disease,
They
famine,
they didn't they
ignorance,
couldn't bring
and
anything.
death.
All they could do is take. You see what I
Mhm.
mean? And just to prove a point to you all that you're being lied to even right now, let me show you what modern day Ghana looks like right now. They'll have you believing that our brothers are over there sitting on sitting on the ground, eating out of lion paw cups or something like that. This is how they living over in Ghana right now. This is Accra, Ghana. This is what they're doing right now. Look at these buildings and stuff like they look like Shreveport, Georgia, or something. Look like Atlanta or something like that. You see what I'm saying? This is what they're doing now. This is the same land here that our brother Abu Bakr ibn Umar died in 1,000 years ago. This is what they're doing over there now. These are African people here, brothers. This is what our people. So stop letting them lie to you about our history. That's the main thing. Sinqui Roberts said, "Thank you, Uncle D, for what you do. Much love and respect." I hope y'all appreciate this. I'm thinking they bored Malika because they ain't really contributing to the super chat, the Cash App. They ain't nobody. If you like what I'm doing, hit the one button. Hit the one button if you like. Usually gives me inspiration. If you like what I'm doing, hit the number one button and let me know you appreciate what's going on. And I promise you, sometime in the near future, who you want to talk about? Maybe Tekashi 69 went to the Dominican Republic. I think that Quavo and Sweetie might they might get back together. What else can we talk about? I think President Biden slipped down some steps again. What else, Malika? Because this is what they like, this mess. They like to talk about the mess.
The Pope and Lil Nas X are going to do a mixtape together.
The Pope and Lil Nas X are gonna do a mixtape. That's the one that's gonna take care? They're gonna have a concert in Vatican City, right?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be called The Devil and I or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So all of you got y'all like that?
With the Pope.
Huh?
Pimping with the Pope.
Pimping with the Pope. I know my people like that. They like that filth. They like that. They like hogs to slaughter. They love that. They eat that up. I get all kind of likes when I do stuff like that. I get off when I'm in here, talking about the brothers and defending the brothers and saying what the sisters need to be doing, blah blah blah. Then they always give me money, man. They give me all kind of money, man. But when I'm in here saying what you need to do, because I'm really telling these black men what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? When I'm telling you that Abu Bakr ibn Umar put his purpose before his woman and wealth and all that, and even to his inconvenience, and was willing to sacrifice his life to do what he felt God had for him to do, his purpose, that's telling you black men that you need to figure out what your purpose is and take it seriously. You see what I'm saying? One thing, brother Malika, I always tell black men, you need to raise your standards. You need to raise the standards for who? Yourself, and then others around you. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, they don't get that part. See, they say, oh, yeah, I need to raise the standards and set the boundaries for people around me. No, you really need to raise the standards for yourself and people around you. See, here's the thing. Abu Bakr ibn Umar had standards. Even though he was a rustic man and liked living out in the Sahara, he still wasn't just going to marry any old woman. He married the richest woman in town, And on top of that, she was so cool, they called her a magician. She was good at negotiating. She knew how to keep peace. She kept her money right. She knew how to keep a man happy. This is the type of woman that he wanted, irrespective if he was a blue collar, quote unquote, worker, irrespective if he was out there killing and whatnot. He still had standards for the type of woman that he wanted to interact with. You see what I'm saying? So he raised his standards. And then, of course, the woman around said, well, you know, this man, I'm only going to marry a man. This is what Zaynab said. I'm only going to marry a man who wants to run the whole country. I don't want you punk tribal leaders. Y'all ain't nothing. Y'all ain't making six. I want an 8-figure ninja. Y'all ain't making nothing but 6 figures. So he came along and wouldn't chase her. She had to show him a cavern full of gold and pearls and rubies, Malika, in order for him to say, all right, boo, I'm going to go with you, baby. It's no problem. But when I got to do what I got to do, I'm out. So you brothers have to be like him. You set the set. You be that conqueror and show the world who you are. And then you can raise standards of everybody around you. Because see, if he wasn't the one that was trying to conquer the whole country and half would look like half of North Africa and all of Spain, she wouldn't have been looking after him like that. And he was a humble man because he had a right to say, well, you know, now I'm the leader, I'm the spiritual leader. But now he said, no, I'll just remain the prince of Muslims. I'm cool with that. I like my hat. You see what I mean? What do you think about that, man? Still a humble man. You see what I'm saying? What do you think about that?
He was righteous in his decisions, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he knew what he wanted. He wasn't trying to be bigger than what he wanted to be or what he knew he could handle. That's the part where you talking about, you know, you got that laser pinpoint focus.
Right.
And also he knew what he wanted way before he got with this woman.
Oh, say that again.
He knew what he wanted.
Say it again. Go ahead.
He was steady on his purpose. He knew what he wanted way before he got with this woman. And he never strayed from it.
Hold on, can I ask you some questions? Because I hear, did he wait around for his woman for them to come together and be a power couple? Did he wait around for that? No. Did he wait around for his woman to make him and his life to begin when he get married? And my life is going to begin when I'm married to my. Did he wait for that?
Hell no.
What would he say to some of these brothers who tell you, these other young men, man, your life don't really start until you get married and you have children and you become a man? Like, no, you can't be a real man if you don't have a wife and don't have children. This man done conquered half of North Africa and all of Spain, and you telling him his life hadn't begun because he don't have a wife? Is that what they is that what they telling these brothers? 51% of black men who out here making money and entered into the middle class. These clowns are telling you your life really don't, but the simps are telling you your life really don't begin until you get married and have some children and sitting at home on Sunday watching Super Bowl and watching the NFL play at 1 o'clock every Sunday. That's the line they're trying to feed you.
You know what he would have said, man?
Go ahead.
Ninja, please kill yourself.
Right. So these are the lessons that you brothers can learn, the lessons in masculinity, really, that you can learn from your ancient brothers. They put God first. They put their purpose first. Abu Bakr ibn Umar put his purpose first. He had a nice, cushy life set up, but it was more important for him to do what? Fulfill his purpose to God. You know, you guys might pray to, you might have Christian God. You call him God. Some people have another name for God, but we get the point. We're talking about the Most High. This is who we're referring to. And so this man, Abu Bakr II, we talked about him. Mansa Musa. And here's something else I want to talk to you guys about Mansa Musa. I'm going to revisit Mansa Musa because I did some research and I have a better understanding of Mansa Musa than I did before. And you guys are going to find this intriguing. It has a lot to do with the fact that he accidentally killed his own mother, Malika. Did you know Mansa Musa accidentally killed his own mother?
No, I didn't.
And that was the driving force behind him going to Mecca. I.e., his purpose was to go to Mecca so that he could be redeemed. And so he only bent down to kiss that dirty sheik's feet in Egypt because his purpose was more important to him than his ego. You understand what I'm saying? This, the richest man that has ever existed, recognized that his purpose was more important than his ego or his fortune, fulfilling his purpose. Isn't that interesting? So we're going to revisit that. I'm going to talk about that in detail in a couple days, man. And we have to do, brother, we have to do our great ancestor, Mansa Musa, favor. He was one of us. Our ancestors lived through us, Malika. And it's important that we speak our ancestors' name. Don't let them feed you your answers. Don't let them pick your heroes for you, Malika. Don't let them limit you to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass and those who came out to act as band-aids to try to stop this bleeding, that this horrible condition that has afflicted us post this short time period of slavery that we have lived here. Don't let them limit our heroes to those men. Let us have Mansa Musa back. Let us have Abu Bakr ibn Umar. Let us have Zaynab, the Queen Zaynab. Let us have Ibn Umar. We're going to take all our heroes back and we're going to pull from them the lessons in masculinity and manhood that they have to teach us. That's what I think we need to do, Malika. What else you want to add to this thing, Malika? Go ahead. The floor is yours, man. You know what to do.
The beautiful thing about Mansa Musa being on his purpose and wanting to redeem himself.
But let's save that. Let's save that for a couple of days from now. I don't want to. We're gonna. That's gonna be a good one because we talked about it once. I want to just. I want to kind of stay focused. You got some jewels, and I want you to give them to them at that time because it's keep it all concentrated. But overall, let's just say this generally speaking. Overall, is this good programming for Black men right now?
Yes, most definitely.
Go ahead.
Most definitely. Myself, you, all the other brothers, we need to understand what purpose is because nobody really teaches us what purpose is and how to stay focused on purpose and never let anyone or anybody to break you on your purpose. Never let anybody knock you off your square. But before a man does anything, before you get married, before you want to even have a steady girlfriend, before you even want to make any serious moves like buy a house, you want to move to another country or move to another city and state, make sure you have a purpose and you stay on it. And also, you know, if you have a goal, these men that you've been talking about for the past 2 weeks had goals, no matter whatever it was. They were unmovable. They were immovable. They some of them may have been very zealous, but they had a goal and they had a purpose, and they did not care about what anybody said. And if anybody came across them and tried to knock them off of that, it was either death or you knew not to move them. This is something that we as Black men have to do. This is something that we need to stay strong for, and we need to get it in our minds that stop putting unnecessary things on a pedestal. Not saying our women aren't necessary. They're just not necessary to you in this certain point of time when you're building, because they will deter you off of your course. Right. And they will want you to fulfill their purpose, even if they think that you're making a certain amount of money. If you're making a certain amount of money and you're in a certain career, but if you want to be VP, but if you're dating a woman and she wants you to marry her, she's expecting you to marry her, but you're having a plan. You have a 4 or 5 year plan. You have a plan. She doesn't have a plan for you. You have a plan for you. And if she wants to ride along, cool. If she doesn't, I see you later, because there are going to be plenty other women 10, 15 years from now that want to hitch to your caboose. This is something that you got to realize. And we need to stop having this poverty and scarcity mindset. This is what we're trained to have, even if we're making a whole lot of money. I am slowly but surely kind of getting out of that poverty and scarcity mindset. And you're teaching me that, Uncle D. You're teaching me that with these great men, and also you're just teaching me to break these chains. And like you're saying, the world is ours. We circumnavigated and controlled it. You're showing it 500, 600 years ago. Why can't we control it now, but in a more sensible, modern 21st century way? And that's it. We gotta get hooked on our purpose, or we need to make our purpose, not our woman's purpose, not our mama's purpose, not the white man's purpose, not your boy's purpose. Forget them. What is your purpose? And I'm glad you keep saying that too. What is your purpose? Like that rhetorical question.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, brother, our heroes are there for us. And see, I'm a firm believer that your ancestors are always with you. All you have to do is just call their name and they'll appear. And so what we have to do is begin to learn about our heroes, learn about our ancestors, speak about them, and they will come alive in you. In other words, once you recognize this man was where my people are from in West Africa. This man did all these amazing things. This is the gene pool that I come from. This man rode across the Sahara like some people ride up I-20 from Dallas to Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? This is what this man did. This is who I come from. This is who I am. I'm descended from warriors. You mean I'm descended from generals and warriors and great fighters and kings and emperors? This is who I'm descended from. And now I have a name and at least a face or a pretty good idea of what this person looked like. When I see that man, I see myself. And so you need to begin to internalize that. And so, you know, it's easy for me to say, yeah, you brothers need to, you know, do this and do that. But when I can give you an example of your brother in recent history, because I'm telling 1,000 years ago, it's nothing. We still believe in Jesus. That was like 2,000 years ago. We talk about Egypt all the time. We talk about King Tut. That was 5,000, 6,000 years ago. This is only, you know, 1,000 years ago. And if you talk about, Mansa Musa, that's like 700 years ago. You see what I mean? So this is a short time. That's a drop in the bucket. That's not even a drop. That's a pin. That's a pin prick in the bucket of history. You know, that's a short time is what I'm telling you. There are people who can trace their heritage back 1,000, 1,500 years, even over in Europe where they kept poor records. So what I'm trying to tell y'all, man, is this is who you are. Embrace it. This is in your DNA. When you become excellent, when you start becoming excellent at what you do, your ancestors will come out of you. You'll start, they'll recognize what you need. Who you are is stored in your DNA. You just have to push yourself. You have to be excellent. You have to push yourself. You have to push your minds, mathematics, science, physical fitness, everything. Push yourself. Be the best you can be. Stop allowing yourself to succumb to mediocrity, because clearly Abu Bakr ibn Umar was not mediocre. Neither was King Shaka Zulu. Neither was Abu Bakr II. Neither was Mansa Musa. All men that we've talked about recently. Be excellent like them. This is what I'm asking you, and your ancestors come back to you. We got Art's in the house. What's up, man? How you doing? I want to give a shout out to Sequoia Roberts. Thank you, Sequoia Roberts, for the donation. Chris McDaniel, Carl Muckle. Who else we got in here? We want to make sure, because y'all they don't like this stuff. Like, I apologize. But there's only a couple of people to do it. I want to make sure I give them shout outs. I can't even get them to hit the subscribe button no more. Prodigal has returned, #1 all day. Elijah Muhammad, peace be unto him. The broke genius, much appreciated. You need to change your name to Rich Genius. What happened to Art? Art, come back in here. Sequoia Roberts, he said, please contribute to Uncle D so he can continue to teach. Stop being cheap. I'm gonna keep teaching, man, but my God, y'all not creating the incentive for me to do it. But I could be up with my lady right now, booed up, and I'm in here talking to y'all, talking to dudes on the internet about some African kings and generals and whatnot. Y'all got to do me better than that, man. Inner R2 says, I'm glad you're doing this series of African leaders and generals. These are your brothers. These are your generals and leaders. These are your leaders and generals. Start talking about it like that. These are your leaders and generals. This is the most often needed. We need another draw of inspiration besides our genetic heroes here. This is showing Black men who were leaders and purpose we need. And then also Herb Gotti said, keep up the great work. But anyway, man, Art was here for a minute. He left. Look, you guys, if you appreciate what I'm doing, contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Thank you, Corey Hickman, or Hickman Corey. I appreciate it. Malika, what else you got to say? We'll try and wait for Art to come back in. Art, come on back in. Malika, at this point, man, unless you can hand this baton off to somebody else who wants to come in, The floor is yours. What you got to say?
This is a beautiful cast, man. Podcast. These are beautiful podcasts. Like you said, these are our heroes. These are our ancestors. This is somebody we need to draw upon. And like the brother said, we need to stop looking at the generic heroes here. You know, all right, Iron Man, Superman, Batman, they aren't, but we need to look at real heroes that we can connect. Heroes that look like us, heroes that are real, heroes that had real purpose, and heroes that, like you said, we need to call upon them to guide us and show us and help us.
Well, I got one for you, man. In a couple of days, we're going to talk about a brother. He was, let me see if I got his name here. King Shangamir Dombo the First. He was the real Black Panther.
Okay.
He came from that region that they on the map, they kind of show you this is where, what's it called? Wakanda is supposed to be from. This king, he whooped the Portuguese so bad, they thought, they said he was gifted with magical powers. He was supernatural, is what they call King Shangamir Dombo. He came from that same region of the world where Shaka Zulu is from. That same, something about that southeast corner, you know, that brings all the smoke to Europe. That ass end of Africa over there is always the
Southside boys.
Huh?
It's them Southside boys.
Southside boys, yeah, they bring that good smoke to them. And so we're gonna talk about that on April 6th, which is tomorrow. So that's gonna be tomorrow at 6:30. And then we're also gonna talk about General Yusuf ibn Tashfin, which is the brother that we spoke about today, the cousin of the ancestor, the great leader before that was there before Abu Bakr ibn Umar took over. Because remember, he didn't take over out of respect for Yusuf ibn Tashfin. So who was this man who actually did the conquering? You see what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. But my man Art, thank you again, Malika. I appreciate you. Art, man, what do you want to add? You came in late, but you always got something good to say. So give it to us. What you got? Art, you got to unmute yourself. Art, what's happening, Art? Can we get a good donation to make this worth it? If somebody can kick in $100, that'll make it worth it. $20, $5, anything. But Art, you got to unmute yourself, Art. Art, unmute yourself. Listen, we got our Alexis. He just kicked in $5. Thanks, for your hard work. We know that you could be with the boys. Yeah, I could, but take time to talk and teach us does not go unrecognized. Art, you got to unmute yourself, man. And so you guys, if you appreciate what I'm doing, contribute to the super chat. I take time, you know, putting these things together and talking to you guys and delivering in a way that I'm just telling a story, not telling history. Well, either way, man, Malika, we can't get Art in. Art, we catch you on the rebound. Don't worry about it. We'll be back again tomorrow. Malika, I appreciate you. I appreciate the time. Thank you, everybody, for your time that you spent here. I appreciate the donations. If you guys have any requests, any African heroes, any of our Black brothers that you want to talk about or something like that, a suggestion, send me a link. I'll check it out. If you want to do a one-on-one conference, I'm free and open for that. Just hit me up anytime at sperlingdennis@gmail.com. I ask you guys if you like the music that you've been seeing lately, you can check me out on Spotify. It's easy to find. Let me see what else. Anything else? And doing a little bit more housekeeping. Oh yeah, of course. Check out Co-Parenting with the Sperlings. The link is pretty much in the chat room. I hope you guys appreciate what I'm doing here, man. Okay, Art, you made it back in. Hopefully you can speak now. How you doing, Art? Are you there? Unmute yourself, Art. Oh man, Art, you still ain't there, baby. You gotta get your internet up, man. Oh, okay. What's up, Art?
Finally.
Talk to me, man.
Finally, man, I didn't want to be long because my battery's real bad here.
Go ahead, man. Spit it on. Go ahead. What you think about
I just want to pick your guys' brain for a minute because I mean this is my sweet spot, and we're talking about the history of our ancestors.
I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. Thank you, prodigal gal has returned. She's given us $99. I can't believe you brothers are letting this sister outdo you. I cannot believe you brothers are letting this lovely lady outdo you. And she the only one that gave Uncle D $99. Praise Moses. Praise Moses. We're gonna give her the Zaynab award. I'm gonna have to come up with a special icon, and for the ladies who contribute, we're gonna call it the Zaynab Award in honor of that rich woman that basically helped tame the whole northwest coast of Africa there. But either way, all right, thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Thank you too, Jammer. Leeways, all money is appreciated. All the donations, just let me know you appreciate it. Either way, go ahead, Art. Go ahead and give it to us. What you got?
Yeah, I was trying to find out what you guys think. Why are so many young folks against what you're doing as far as sharing, ancestral gems and things like that? Because what you just did, and and I'm quite sure you witnessed other brothers have done that before us as well. It's like this is the stuff that gives you that pathway of success. Nothing is new under the sun. So what do you got? Why? Because I've been teaching for so many years. So why do you guys think that? Or what do you guys think as far as why
Oh,
so
hold
many
on a
young
minute.
people are
Well,
quicker?
here's the thing.
I'm done.
Are you done? Well, no, I think that's an important question. See, the thing is, brother, I'm a lawyer. You see what I mean? And I've been at this for 21 years, and I'm a trained storyteller. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm telling the story in a way in which they want to hear it. And so because of that, they'll listen to it. You see, I write music, I do television shows, I write books. I'm a storyteller. And so depending on how you tell the story, if you know they're interested, people like that mess. They, oh my God, really? He married a rich woman and she was out there, all the other men wanted and she didn't want her. And she had to show him a room full of gold and treasure before he married. Oh my God, he really sat her down. He really put her in her place. He was strong. His pimp hand was strong. You see what I mean? He must have, who he think he was. I'm telling them a story in terms in which they can understand. It's the same thing I do with the Bible. One gift that God gave me is that God gave me the ability to take very complicated, complex notions and theories and break them down so that people can understand it. I'm a common man. I speak the common man's language. I was once, I asked my adopted father, I said, is my English, how does my English sound? He says, you speak black well. I said, what? He said, you speak black well. I'm like, well, God, to talk about a loaded comment, a compliment. And so basically, man, it's just about story. If you got to be able to bring these stories alive to people. You see what I mean? This is what you're able to do in a courtroom. This is what you do in to talk to people. You have to make it, you have to tap people's strong held beliefs. And you got to understand their ideologies and their way of seeing things and what stirs them. And see, now you guys will never forget Abu Bakr ibn Umar. You may forget how to say his name, but you won't forget his story. This general, man. I was looking at the internet, man. I was probably like 25 years old. This had to be about 30 years ago, man. Abu something or another, man. But this lawyer dude, man, he used to have his show, and he was telling about how the man did this, and then he wanted to live out in the woods and came back. And he married this rich woman, but she had to convince him to marry. And then he went out to fight a war, let his cousin marry. But that was our black brothers right there. You see what I'm saying? That was our brother. They'll remember that. You see what I'm saying? All right. So it's about the storytelling. You got to know how to bring it alive to these young people. And I think that's what I'm good at, because I'm not above you guys. I don't put myself up and above and over. I'm one of you. I tell you brothers all the time, I am you. I'm your brother. I want one of y'all to come take my spot. I don't want to be here. I'm getting old now. I won't go to sleep. You know what I mean? But I know this is important. And I know that I'm touching minds, and all praises go to the Most High. That I think is that helping you out a little bit, Art?
No, I ran into quite a bit of like Griff and Brother Jay from X Clan, and we had the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting to the point to where if it has some kind of remnants of ancient society, it's like it's really rejected. But if you say that you have the mojo, then
Mm-hmm.
brother, I support you. So I just wanted to pick your brain.
No problem. You just got to put it in context for them and help them understand. Don't read them facts. Tell them a story. You
Okay.
understand? Tell them a story tell them who, what, when. Great. tell him what she was thinking at the time, what she could have been thinking, what he was thinking, what he was doing at the time. People get into the personal story. See, I tell an interpersonal story that existed, but here it is. You got Abu Bakr ibn Umar, born of the Saharan desert. This man is used to living in tents, and he runs across this rich woman named Zaynab, who he is probably not interested in all. Baby, I'm only going to be here for a minute. I done conquered your city. I got other cities to conquer. No, no, no. I want you to stay here. I need your protection. This woman realized that she needed somebody like him who was probably a tyrant, even though she couldn't control him. She needed him to be there because what? Because she needed his protection because it was a harsh world out there. So what did she do? She used her skills. She was a beautiful woman, so convincing in negotiations. They said she was like a magician. She was able to change people's minds. Imagine how fine this African woman was. You see what I mean? And how convincing she was. See, you see what I'm saying? So I'm painting a picture for you. Probably rolled up on them in some silk, you know, with her whole entourage there, dripping in gold, and he out there in his tent sitting up, roasting some rabbit or something like that, smoking a cigarette, like, what's happening, baby? What can I do you for? And she rolled up, well, hi. And you know, she's all sophisticated. He just a straight up thug. You know, but cool with it, but just like, yeah, okay, you know what? You came to bow down, and what's happening? You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
And she got to bow down to this man because this man holds the power. And so she holds the power of persuasion, but it's only so far I can go. So this is the story of Abu Bakr ibn Umar and Zaha and how she became his wife. She fell under his protection. Yeah, she's sophisticated. Yeah, she got the education, but she needs that strong man to protect her from all these other tyrants out there. You see what I mean? Right. And then what did he do? Right. He said, yeah, I know you. Look, baby, I like you. You're a good girl. You're a sweet girl. You did right by me. Look, I'm out. I got work to do. I got to go over here to Sahara and fight my war. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do you right. I'm going to divorce you legitimately. That way you don't have to worry about being alone. And you can get with this other man who's my cousin. And he's going to marry you and take care of you. So I'm going to wait 3 months. My people need me in the Sahara Desert. I should be leaving right now, but I'm going to wait 3 months just for you. That's my dedication to you. You know what I'm saying? So my people got to wait, you know? And so what does that tell you about him? So yeah, he was a thug, but he wasn't he had a certain level of sophistication and dedication and honor.
And discipline. That's the other word, discipline.
Yeah, and discipline. But the fact that he didn't just bounce on this woman, even though there was a war being waged, and he could have lost all of it. His purpose was what? To make sure this kingdom that he's maintaining stays intact. But he did the right thing by this woman, and that shows the respect that he had for this African woman and the respect he had. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And you got to be able to paint that picture for these folks, all right? And it requires, I think, a great understanding of yourself and a great understanding of the other human beings around you. See, once you begin, it took me to writing my books, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness, which are available on Amazon, and you can get a hard copy, for me to truly understand myself. And I began to see these cycles and the patterns in my own life, many of which mirrored some of the stories in the Holy Bible. And so when I began to realize this, I said, oh, this is just part of the human condition. And so now when I see that in these stories, I recognize the same patterns. It's the human condition, and the human condition merely repeats itself. So when you can bring these stories alive and from the past, from 1,000 years ago, and tell them to your children, they say, oh, well, this is me again. These are my ancestors. Oh, okay. Well, I kind of know what to do now. I know what I have to do. I know what my purpose is. Everybody will tell you to get on your purpose. Nobody will tell you what your purpose is. Everybody will tell you to get a job, but then they confuse that with their purpose. That's your skill set. What's your purpose? Oh, well, I'm a lawyer. That's my purpose. No, that's how you make money. That's your skill set. What's your purpose? Oh, my purpose is to talk to Black men and breathe life into them and talk to them about the things that we as Black men need to do to develop and become better men. That's my purpose. Oh, wow, I get it. My purpose is also to change the image of Black men so that my children and my children's children will have a better image to come up under than I did, and people won't see us as thugs. We'll change that. Wow, that's your purpose. Okay. But your job is being a lawyer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but your purpose is this. So now people can begin to distinguish and know what their purpose is. And so that is kind of why I'm doing this series. But, you know, I guess for the most part, what I'm telling you, Art, is, you know, the best way to tell a good story is first know yourself. You know how you would tell the story, then tell the story the way you would tell it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I'm glad you putting this series out, man. I encourage you to do more.
Yeah.
Because this is something that you want to, have your son and just just hit play and then talk about what you talked about.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna start talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine because that seems to get more likes. I got 46 people in here, man. I got 46 people. But shout out to Get T. He won. Uncle D learned is more important to me. It's more important than to be a warrior than a scholar. I still aim to both. Amen. Yeah, man. Well, all I'm saying is this. And it's more important to learn how to read. It's more important to learn to fight than to read, but you need both of them because a warrior without scholarship, a warrior without knowledge, is just a killing machine. You're nothing. You need both of them, but you need to learn how to defend yourself first because whatever knowledge you learn, you can still be enslaved. You can still have your riches taken away from you. You can still be somebody's victim. Many of our African brothers were scholars and writers, and boy, they got put on them ships and chained and sent to America just like the rest of them. They got the scholar beat out of them. You see what I mean? So keep that in mind.
Architect.
Yeah, they're architects. I appreciate that. God bless you all. This is Uncle D. I love you guys, man. Thank you, Art. Thank you, Malika. I appreciate you guys for dancing this. Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
Peace out, fam.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all be blessed. This is Uncle D. And as I always say at this time, I'm out.